Was Sukuna's world-cutting slash responsible for the destruction of the alien homeworld, which caused the Simurians to become refugees and seek out the Earth? Let's talk about it. Alright, so for anyone who's unfamiliar with this theory going around, it is quite literally that one of Sukuna's world-cutting slashes from the end of JJK traveled throughout space to the point where it reached the Simurian homeworld and decimated the planet, completely destroying it, which is what led Maru, Cross, and all of the other 50,000 alien refugees to flee and ultimately come upon the Earth. And the main thing people are pointing to for this is this panel from chapter 236, where Sukuna is explaining the world cutting slash, where he says it cuts space, existence, and the world itself. And we get a panel that literally shows stars and Sukuna's slash going across it. So they think that, maybe he destroyed their planet. So that, in conjunction with Maru's statements about their homeworld being destroyed by a man-made disaster, makes people think maybe it was Sukuna's world-cutting slash. And very quickly on Maru's comments, we don't really have enough context to know what he meant by that. Is it possible that he literally means man-made, as in human, as in earthling, like an earthling caused the disaster of their homeworld? Maybe, but it also just might have been a colloquial manner of speaking. Like, man-made disaster could just mean Simurian-made disaster, but he's just speaking freely, right? So we really don't know. But Cross's comments aside, is this possible? Could Sukuna's slash have traveled infinitely in order to destroy their planet? And I don't think so, okay? I mean, far be it from me to deem what's realistic within a manga about supernatural powers versus not, but this seems incredibly far-fetched to me. There's never been any indication that the world-cutting slash would travel forever, so first, we just have to grant that that is true. But even beyond that, Sukuna's slashes do not move at the speed of light or anywhere close to it. Now, I'm not a hardcore power scaler or anything, but I think most people can agree on that. JJK characters are just not light speed. Gojo and Sukuna are the fastest in the verse, and they are faster than Sukuna's slashes, right? So I think most people would agree that we're talking like massively hypersonic here. Faster than the speed of sound, but nowhere near the speed of light. I mean, Kusakabe is able to deflect these things. With the help of Simple Domain, yes, so it's automatically happening, but still, he's able to do it with his physical body. We are nowhere near the speed of light. Now, behind me here are the closest stars to our solar system, and the very closest one is over 4 light years away. So if we just assume the Simurians happen to be our very closest neighbors, they are over 4 light years away, which means at the speed of light, it would take you over 4 years to get there. Modulo takes place 70 years after the events of JJK. Is there any chance that a sub-light speed slash from Sukuna could have made it to their homeworld? And I don't think so, okay? Because if we even want to say that Sukuna's slashes are hypersonic, they're like Mach 5, moving at 4,000 miles per hour. Do you know how long it would take them to travel 4 light years? Over 6 million years. The speed of light is 186,000 miles per second, okay? We are in just an entirely different stratosphere. We can 10x what we think of Sukuna's speed or the slash's speed. Hell, we can 100x it, and we're still not getting anywhere close. So unless Gege just wants to go completely ballistic with the power scaling, then there's just no realm where this really makes sense. But again, we are working in the realm of manga and fiction and supernatural power, so I won't say that it's impossible, but I just don't think this is very likely. Because in addition to the power scaling side of things, I also don't think there's been evidence in the story for this type of animosity, right? Like, if the Simurians got destroyed by a slash that they knew came from Earth, and thus that's why they traveled here, that hasn't been apparent in their actions, right? Because they've been kind of coming at things with an olive branch. And yes, it's very tenuous. Like, we know that at least Cross and probably other Simurians are ready to just take over the Earth if they need to, but they aren't leading with that, right? And if they thought that this planet of, humanoid creatures here had destroyed their planet, they probably would be a lot more aggressive and hostile. And he wouldn't be so surprised by Tsurugi saying, like, we're supposed to be neighbors. I mean, maybe he would still be surprised by that, but why wouldn't he throw it in his face of, like, neighbors, huh? You destroyed our planet, So I just don't think the seeds are there for this to make sense for them motivationally either. And if all of this were true, it also doesn't really make sense why the Simurians would have been surprised to discover that Japanese citizens had sorcery, right? Because if their homeworld had been destroyed by an act of sorcery that they recognized came from Earth and came to Earth because of it, then they would know that Earthlings had sorcery. Now, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer here or to rain on anyone's theories. You guys know I live for the crazy theories. And I think most people talking about this are doing so in like a lobotomy Kaisen sense. But I have also seen some people who are like, oh yeah, that's definitely what happened. And I just think that's incredibly unlikely. And so to round us out here, I want to give a shout out to Daiki, who sent me in a comment about this, but takes the lobotomy to the next level, where he says that, you know what, maybe this world-cutting slash was meant to protect Gojo, and he just accidentally got in the way, and that Sukuna was specifically aiming for the aliens to save Gojo and the rest of humanity. And you know what? I'm here for that.